The Roloff family is back for another season of Little People, Big World, and a lot has changed. When the hit TLC series returns May 11, audiences will catch up with the Oregon-based, farm-owning family as they hunker down amid the COVID-19 pandemic while remaining busy as ever. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For Roloff family latest news update, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. In the season super tease exclusively debuted by People, family matriarch Amy Roloff has moved into her new home with fiancé Chris Marek. But he isn't feeling like any space is being created for him. It kind of irritates me that I go to the trouble of clearing out a space, and I come back and you've put stuff in it, Chris tells her. You're not creating space for me. The couple is also seen planning their wedding day, as Amy, 56, tries on dresses and wonders if the farm could be a possible venue. While touring the property one day, Amy is sandwiched between the old husband and the new husband, Chris teases in a confessional. It seems like Chris and Matt are becoming buddies, Amy says to viewers. Like really? Meanwhile, Matt Roloff is going strong with his girlfriend, Karen Chandler, who is facing questions about her intentions when it comes to the relationship. I think the saddest thing that I deal with Matt is that people think that I'm with him because, oh, she must be a gold digger, Karen tells Tori Roloff. And it's like, why do you have to think that I'm married to the guy that owns a pumpkin patch? How could I not be into itch? She says in a confessional while sitting next to Matt, 59. I'm not married. Did I say married? She corrects herself, as Matt confirms with a laugh, yeah, you did. And although it's been 5 years since Matt and Amy divorced, the time has finally come for them to divide assets pertaining to the family farm. Amy and Matt lived on the property, which they co-owned, for nearly 30 years before their divorce in 2016. The former couple raised twins Jeremy and Zach, 30, daughter Molly, 27, and son Jacob, 24, on the farm. Did you hear my dad's going to buy my mom out? Zach says to wife Tori, on a walk with their 2 kids, daughter Lila Ray, 17 months, and son Jackson Kyle. But for Amy, the development doesn't come as a surprise. I always knew that in the end, he would want it all, she tells cameras. Lila is going to the eye doctor, Tori says. Every once in a while she'd be cross-eyed, especially when looking far away. She needs glasses or the possibility of surgery. And Jackson's legs are starting to bow. Zach explains to viewers as Tori is seen telling someone he will probably need surgery. The new season will also feature the couple revealing their pregnancy news to the family, an exciting moment that was documented before Tori shared in March that she had suffered a miscarriage. In an Instagram post at the time, she revealed the heartbreaking news to her followers. We were so excited when we found out we were expecting baby 3. And we couldn't wait to share, Tori wrote. We went in for our first ultrasound at 8 weeks and found out that we lost our sweet baby 2 weeks earlier. I've honestly never felt lost like I did in that moment, she continued. I've never felt so sad, angry, and scared in a single moment. I had no symptoms of losing our sweet angel baby, and nothing could have prepared me for hearing our sweet baby was gone. Little People, Big World has always revolved around the dynamics of the Roloff family, their personal lives, business ventures, and the sprawling Oregon property known as Roloff Farms. As the show evolved over more than 2 decades, so too did the relationships within the family, particularly between Matt and Amy Roloff, the couple at the heart of the show. One of the most dramatic and emotionally charged developments in recent seasons was Matt Roloff's desire to buy out wife Amy Roloff's share of Roloff Farms following their divorce. This move not only marked a pivotal shift in the legacy of the family, but also sparked widespread reaction from fans. The decision had deep implications financially, emotionally, and symbolically for everyone involved, especially their children. This in-depth article dives into the entire situation, exploring the motivations, consequences, and impact of Matt's efforts to assume full ownership of the family's iconic property. Roloff Farms has long been a centerpiece of the show and the family's public identity. Located in Hillsboro, Oregon, the 100-acre property became famous for its pumpkin season, unique attractions like pirate ships and castles, and the warm, welcoming nature of the Roloff family. What began as a piece of farmland grew into a beloved tourist destination and a cornerstone of LPBA. Matt and Amy Roloff bought the property together in 1990 when they were still married. Over the years, they developed it into a massive enterprise with rides, structures, and organized tours. Fans witnessed the couple working together, sometimes with tension, sometimes with affection, to make their dream a reality. However, as their marriage began to crumble, the shared ownership of the farm became a central point of contention. Matt and Amy's divorce, finalized in 2016, followed years of visible strain on their relationship. Their differing management styles, personality clashes, and the changing dynamics of their children's roles on the farm contributed to growing frustrations. Though they tried to maintain civility, it was clear that co-owning the farm post-divorce would be no easy feat. Amy initially continued living on the farm after their split, choosing to stay in the main farmhouse, while Matt moved into a smaller home on the property. But tension simmered beneath the surface. Matt had grand ideas for expansion and renovation, while Amy preferred a more traditional approach. Eventually, Amy made the difficult decision to sell her share of the farm and move on emotionally and physically. That decision, however, didn't come lightly or without drama. Matt's desire to buy Amy out of the farm emerged as a solution that would allow both of them to move forward. He viewed full ownership as a way to streamline decision-making, pursue his vision without resistance, and prepare for the future. From a business standpoint, this made sense. Matt was still heavily involved in managing the day-to-day operations of the farm, especially during peak seasons. Amy, on the other hand, had begun building a new life with her then fiancé, now husband, Chris Marek. The logistics of co-owning such a large, multifaceted property became increasingly complex. On the show, viewers watched Matt pitch the idea of buying Amy's portion. It was evident that his proposal was both a business transaction and an emotional milestone. For Matt, taking over the farm meant preserving a legacy, but also distancing himself from past marital complications. Amy Roloff's reaction to Matt's proposal was mixed. While she recognized the practical benefits of selling her stake in the property, it was emotionally painful to part ways with a place where she had raised her children, built traditions, and invested decades of her life. Amy often expressed that she felt pressured and at times undermined by Matt's assertiveness. She also worried that selling her share might lead to family fallout, especially among their children, who were closely tied to the farm. Eventually, Amy decided to sell her portion to Matt in 2 phases, with the total transaction amounting to approximately $975,000. She purchased a new home nearby with Chris and started a new chapter of her life, but the emotional toll was palpable. One of the most significant and heartbreaking aspects of the buyout was how it impacted the Roloff children, particularly Zach and Jeremy. Both sons had expressed interest in potentially taking over the farm. However, negotiations reportedly fell through, with Zach and Jeremy citing disagreements over price, communication, and expectations. Zach, in particular, felt hurt and blindsided by the way the discussions unfolded. In later seasons of the show and on social media, he alluded to a strain in his relationship with Matt, attributing it partly to the farm negotiations. He and his wife, Tori, eventually moved away from the property and started fresh with their young family. Jeremy, who had previously shown interest in managing the farm, also distanced himself from the drama. Fans were disappointed that neither son would continue the Roloff legacy on the land they grew up on. The decision left many viewers questioning whether Matt's choice to buy out Amy and then offer the property at market value to his children was the right move. Some sympathized with Matt's business mindset, while others felt he prioritized profit over family legacy. The Little People, Big World fan base was deeply invested in the outcome of the farm situation. Social media lit up with emotional responses, with many fans expressing disappointment over how things turned out. Some sided with Matt, believing that his decades of hard work entitled him to full ownership and control of the farm. Others sympathized with Amy, feeling that she was pushed out of a place she helped build. Still others were upset that the farm, once viewed as a symbol of family unity, had become a source of conflict and separation. The controversy even sparked online petitions and debates, with some fans calling for the show to end, saying the charm had been lost. Others begged for reconciliation among the family members, hoping to see healing and unity return. After selling her share of Roloff Farms, Amy wasted no time embracing a new chapter. She married Chris Myrick in 2021 in a beautiful ceremony held ironically on Roloff Farms. Matt offered the space, and Amy accepted, saying she wanted to separate the memories from the past with the present. Amy also focused on her business ventures, including publishing books, launching her brand Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen, and sharing inspirational content online. She continued appearing on LP Bigo, though her involvement was scaled back to focus on personal fulfillment rather than family tension. Her move symbolized a shift toward independence and peace, even if bittersweet. With full ownership, Matt doubled down on his plans to transform the farm. He discussed ideas such as expanding tourist attractions, building rental properties for vacationers, developing parts of the land for housing, hosting more large events and weddings. However, the absence of his children in those plans left many fans disheartened. Viewers had long assumed that Roloff Farms would be handed down to the next generation, not commercialized or sold off in pieces. Matt defended his choices, saying that he offered opportunities to his children, but they didn't work out. He emphasized that the farm needed to be financially sustainable and couldn't operate solely on sentimentality. Still, the optics of a family farm turning into a private rental or resort clashed with the show's long-running theme of family-first values. Matt's decision to buy Amy's portion of the farm was more than a business transaction, it was a symbol of transition. The Roloff family was evolving. Where once the farm was a central, shared foundation, it had now become a point of divergence. The buyout represented the final unraveling of Matt and Amy's marital and business ties, a shift from a family-owned legacy to a more individualistic model. The start of new identities for both Amy and Matt, apart from the farm, a division among the children over what the farm meant to them. For longtime viewers, it marked the end of an era. As time has passed since the buyout, the question remains, is reconciliation possible? Could the family come together again, not necessarily to co-own the farm, but to rebuild relationships damaged in the process? Matt has made efforts to stay involved in his children's lives. He and Karen Chandler have spent time with the grandkids and even mentioned retirement plans that might involve relocating to Arizona. Amy has continued to share glimpses of family gatherings and still expresses hope for unity. Zach and Jeremy, while more distant, haven't closed the door entirely. As their own families grow, the possibility of healing, even if the farm is no longer central, is still on the table. Matt Roloff's decision to buy out Amy's portion of Roloff Farms was a watershed moment in the history of Little People, Big World. It reflected broader changes in the family, exposed hidden tensions, and redefined the legacy of a property that had long symbolized togetherness. While it allowed Matt to pursue his own vision and gave Amy a fresh start, the emotional cost was steep for the family and the fans who had grown up with them. As the future of Roloff Farms continues to evolve, one thing is certain: the story of the Roloffs, with all its complexities, remains one of reality TV's most enduring family sagas. Little People, Big World premieres May 11 at 9 p.m.